Handsome.
Hi, Dee.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Going through some family stuff, but getting through it all.
Yeah, I saw your post on Facebook. I'm sorry about your loss.
Yeah, he was truly my soulmate, but I'm glad he's free, you know.
Yeah.
Would not have wanted to live in the way he was destined to live after all this. So, how have you been?
I've been doing okay. Okay
Good. Got
with
through the last year, okay?
yeah, with everything going on. Things have actually been all right. Um, I was lucky to be working at a job that during pretty much all this stuff, it never got really shut down, except for like the 1 month when everything was shut down. So I've been fortunate to be working and saving money and putting it towards the fishbowl.
Well, good. Yeah, I against all odds seem to create a lot of opportunities during the pandemic. So, I think whatever life throws you, you've just got to go, okay, well, here's the limitations. Now what can I create? You know?
Exactly. I've been trying to book a lot more people, um, kind of expanding the bowl, the horizons of the bowl, and when I saw that you were going to be coming to Pittsburgh, I immediately wanted to reach out and get you on the show again and talk about everything that's awesome about Pittsburgh and ET and uh, I guess everything um, going on with that.
Well, okay, let's do it.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me yet again. Uh, it is always a pleasure having you on the show. I hope the
Thank you.
temperature is just right.
Oh, everything's good. Everything's good, and I'm so excited about getting back out into the conventions and everything. I have really missed doing them. A lot of people do them because it's cash money and, all kinds of different reasons. And that's obviously a part of it. But I love meeting the fans. And unfortunately, we won't be hugging as much as I like to hug. But I've got some great new shots, some great new posters, some great new figurines. People always are emailing me about the figurines, so I'll have everything with me, and it'll just be really good to see everybody smile and be back out there in the energy with what I think are the best fans in the world.
Awesome,
So,
awesome. I definitely know what you mean. The Steel City Con that you're going to be attending has been like a year and a half in the making. And last year, it actually fell on my birthday weekend. Um,
oh,
and like everything happened and it got canceled and postponed and kept getting postponed. And it passed my birthday this year. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, but I
well, we don't hold to ceremony here. We'll just I keep my birthday. I start before and I celebrate into the month after. So who cares about a date? We're
right,
just going to
right.
celebrate it anyway.
Exactly, and the fact that it's finally going to happen, and I know they had some like last minute rearranging with people who had to cancel and then be rebooked to the next one. And then I
Well,
saw
did
you
I
were going to
lose you?
be there, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! This is meant to be," you know. Now I can actually I'm going to have a fishbowl pen for you. I'm going to have a business card. You're going to see me in my full on fishbowl attire. I'm going to have a T-shirt and the whole the whole shebang.
You're going to be a complete fish,
Yes, yes.
a big fish.
Right, a big fish out swimming out of the bowl.
Yeah. But alive and flapping.
Right, right. And hopefully won't be too hot or might be a little parched.
Yeah, well, out here it's supposed to be in the mid 90s tomorrow.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
As hot as that is, I kind of envy you because um, we like last week it was snowing here.
I know. Crazy, huh?
Yeah,
Just crazy.
yeah,
In flippin' April. But of course there's no global warming.
right, right.
Ha ha.
Apparently
Yeah.
that's all just fabrication. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Like the virus and everything else.
Right, right.
Huh?
But I was thankful because like yesterday and today we actually have some like nice weather going on. Although unfortunately, I think it's supposed to drop again. Um, so I we may not get summer until like mid May or by the time you're here. So hopefully by the time you're here we'll actually be in like full summer mode.
Well, I'm looking forward to that because I'm a hot weather kind of girl. I don't I don't dig the cold too much. So I will welcome that.
Same here. Same here.
What
I
do you
like
love most about the cons?
I love being able to go and talk to like essentially the people that inspired me to do what I'm doing now. Um, I love to network. I love I love the fact that there's vendors there, selling stuff. There's all sorts of neat stuff you can find at all these different cons. Before I had to put a major halt on it, I was a big action figure collector, and
Uh-huh.
I would spend a pretty penny sometimes collecting like movie memorabilia, um, action figures, and posters and stuff like that. And now one of the things I kind of like to do is get pictures with all the guests and you know well I guess what's the term a picture's worth 1,000 words. So you know like
Yeah, it's just a really nice opportunity to get personal with each other and, hear everybody's stories. I mean, I love the stories that a lot of my fans tell me about when they saw different movies and how it affected their lives and what was going on with them. And uh, you really there's really no other platform that allows you to do that as well as these conventions. And everybody gets together and has a good time, and usually there's some good bands, and um, I don't know. I just really like doing them. Sometimes the travel gets a little hairy, but that's just a part of it, I guess.
right. I'm just I being in Pittsburgh and also I guess being a proud nerd. Uh, I there's all different cons that um, I love going to, and the Steel City Con is definitely one of my favorites, and um, I've had a chance to cover a few smaller ones here in Pittsburgh that are also supposed to happen this year, and I should promote those because I have a feeling I might be covering them this year as long as they're still happening. And those ones are there. There's a smaller one called Horror Realm that's specifically for the horror fans, and that's going to be in November if it still happens. And then there's another one called the Living Dead Weekend, which is mainly for
Oh,
uh,
let's guess.
yep, yep, the late great George Romero.
It's a zombie con, is it?
And I'm proud to say that my friends run that con, and very likely you might run into them at the Steel City Con because they also work that event as well. So
Oh,
if
cool.
you meet anyone by the name of Mandy or Will Welfley, tell them that
Well, they'll have to remind me that they're friends of yours, and then
okay,
I'll remember. Do you
okay.
know how many people that
Right,
we
right.
meet during a weekend? Probably over 4,000
Right,
at the big
right.
cons, so I'm good, but I ain't that good that I'm going to
Right.
remember those names all the way, through. When are we doing that? When are we doing Steel City?
Steel
June.
City is June 11th through
Yeah.
the 13th.
Yep. Woohoo!
That's what I say. That's what I say. I'm definitely very excited, and I was going to ask you, depending on I guess how busy it gets, would you maybe be interested in doing like a mini interview at the con?
It literally depends on how busy my table is, but I'm
Right.
fine with that. Probably Sunday would be the best day,
Okay.
usually.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm very excited. I'm also again like a huge fan of Henry Thomas and C. Thomas Howell, of course. So that's going to be a big event. I'm very excited for it. If all works out, we can definitely do like a mini interview there on Sunday. That would be awesome.
Okay. Well, you know how to get me,
Yes, yeah. I have a
and
weekend pass,
we'll just
so
play it by ear.
right, right. Yeah. If you're in Pittsburgh and you get a chance, there are a couple food spots for you to check out. If you haven't checked them out already, I'm not sure if you're a pizza fan, um, but in Squirrel Hill, which is where I'm from, which isn't too far from Monroeville, where the con is, there is an excellent pizza place that's been there for over 50 years, and it's called Minio's.
Minio's Pizza. Okay,
Yes,
noted.
it's thick, cheesy, greasy goodness.
Yeah, it's one of those healthy pizzas,
Right, right.
huh? Yeah.
The, yeah, it's one of those if
No
you
cauliflower, no cauliflower crust for you, right?
right. And if you go there, make sure to tell them where you heard about them, uh, because
Yes, I for sure will.
I am an avid Minio's goer pizza place. Very good. They're one of the only pizza shops that actually will like ship out their pizzas frozen during like Super Bowl and
Oh, nice.
Christmas time. Yeah, I was just talking with someone, and they've been playing it on TV, but we were talking about the Frighteners, and it's again probably my favorite movie with you in it. And
Really? Oh,
yes, I like it because it's a unique film, and I'm definitely a very big like Peter Jackson fan. But when I talk to people, especially about like horror and the cross genre of like horror and comedy and suspense and all that, they always kind of they've either never seen it or they've heard of it and they haven't had a chance to watch
what?
it. And
Oh,
I,
yeah, it got lost because the year it was coming out, it was supposed to be released at Halloween, which would have been the perfect time. But there was another film that wasn't finished that was supposed to be released with the summer blockbusters, and The Frighteners was done, so they released us in the middle of all the big summer blockbusters, and it just got lost. And it's a real shame because it's such a brilliant movie. And the
abs
performances in it, Jeffrey Combs just, I mean, every time I watch it, I just marvel at that guy's performance.
I definitely agree. I've loved him since I first laid eyes upon him as Herbert West. Um, he brings his A game to everything that he does, and and
Yep.
and even if it's like a really like low budget indie kind of horror movie, his A game is like there no matter what. And I actually own the director's cut on Blu-ray, and like when I remember watching the theatrical cut like so many different times, and then when I saw the director's cut, I was shocked at how much footage was actually cut in the editing room for the theatrical versus the director's cut, and the like what Peter Jackson was trying to do with I guess the original vision of what the Frighteners was supposed to be is really really well done. Um, the whole concepts with ghosts, which are based on like actual documented um, cases with the paranormal and everything, and then like infusing that into a really like fun but also like dramatic um, like ghost ghost crime like mystery suspense slash comedy
Yeah.
thriller was really really well done.
Well, he and Joe Dante both are masters at combining the horror with the humor.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. There are definitely some major inspirations on my own writing. I definitely like to incorporate like the B grade with the horror B grade with like the comedy. So like Evil Dead, everything like Sam Raimi's done is also like really really well done. A great influence, and but Joe Dante is and Peter Jackson are excellent. And the Howling just had its anniversary.
Oh yeah, so did Critters.
Yeah, so did
It's
Critters.
it's the anniversary year for Dee Wallace.
Yeah,
Well, it sure holds up, you know.
definitely. I still think the werewolf transformation scene in the Howling still well the effects look a little outdated. You could say I still love watching the transformation in there. And I just think the overall concept that was going on in the Howling um, definitely deserves to kind of be remade now. And I think I heard that what wasn't like Netflix or like one of those companies talking about doing a Howling remake.
Well, I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I thought I
I,
heard.
you know, I, I think if they redid it, they would do the CGI and all that stuff. And personally, from talking to the fans, they really get all up in it when they try to do that. They like the old original process of how we did. Like if you redid Cujo today, it would all be CGI. It's a
Right.
different movie. It's just different. And you can feel the difference. As good as the CGI has gotten, Harrison Ford's last movie, whose name escapes me right now, but he did it with the dog, and it was beautifully done, and it wasn't the same for me.
I definitely agree. What was it? The Call of the Wild, I think.
Oh, Call of the Wild, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. With that one especially, because there was no. I feel with that film especially that they should have used a real dog. Like it looked weird. I like. I mean, I'm more of a dog person. I mean, I like cats and dogs, but I'm like definitely more of a dog person. But
Oh, for sure.
when
Me too.
when when I saw like the whole dog was CG, I just didn't understand it. I mean maybe that's just me with my age, but I just don't understand the point. And I mean it probably cost them more money too to develop a whole CG dog than it would have taken to have like a trained animal that would have made it look way more realistic and aesthetically pleasing. That's just my
I
opinion.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And, it's, I mean, all of us good actors can pretend that things are there. That's our job. We know how to do it. But I can tell you, it's not the same. It's not the same as really having the horror of that dog in your face, drooling, growling, barking, clawing. I mean, it's different. It's viscerally different for the actor.
I can believe it. I can believe. I mean, I mean that's why like I give credit to actors that can work with CG characters, and make it look like they're actually talking to the person, like the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I loved it. I realized they couldn't really do Sonic, as like a like practical, and the actor whose name is escaping me for right now, but I really like him a lot. Was able to really like make it believable that he was interacting with essentially a person that's like a tennis ball, that he has to talk to.
Well, yeah, when I did Lassie, that's who I did most of my scenes with, was a tennis ball.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Because, first of all, you can't overwork the animals. That's why we had so many animals in Cujo. So many dogs, plus a guy in a dog suit, plus two labs, I think, black labs that we had dog suits for other tricks. I don't think they ever did anything in the movie, but we had them there in case we needed them. So in total, there were 13 different dogs. Um, First of all, they were all trained to go after toys. So One of them was the barker. One of them was the digger. One of them was the jumper, Um, and that way they all had their specialty and you didn't have to overwork any of them, which is really important.
Right, right. Very interesting. Yeah. It definitely it definitely makes it I guess more I guess it probably would be easier to work with something that actually physically there and allow the actor to really I guess naturally, show more emotion um by interacting with the
Yeah, I
physical.
didn't have to act much in Cujo, let me tell you. I didn't have to act much. I just reacted to that those dogs were so well trained. It was unbelievable. Carl Miller just did an exceptional job in training those dogs.
Awesome, awesome. Were there any like fun experiences with the dogs on set?
No. Well, let me preface that by saying we were not allowed to interact with the dogs. And that happens with a lot of trainers when you work with animals. We were not allowed to interact with Lassie either, which probably was the hardest thing for me whenever I work with animals because I adore animals and I want especially dogs, I want to be petting and loving them on them all the time. And, but they have to know that they're there to work and that at all times they have to be connected and attentive to their trainer. So the funnest, and I've got a great picture of this that I bring to the cons. One time I got Gary, the stuntman in the dog suit, and Louis Teague and and we got up like in chorus line and did a big chorus line kick, and the dog's in the middle. When I'm sitting at my table and I hear somebody start to laugh, I know they're looking at that picture. It's so much fun. But for the most part, we were under the gun. Um, you know, most of it was shot during the day. So we had to really be cognizant of getting everything that we needed to get while the sun was still up. It was a gruesome shoot, and it's my favorite movie.
Awesome, awesome. They've also been playing that on TV as well. One of the movie channels. Um,
Yeah, they play it quite a bit. It's a fan favorite for sure.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely a very intense film. Um, I really like Stephen King for being able to, you know, be very diverse and the type of stuff that he writes. Because I know like how he kind of got known for being horror, and then he's had to like write stuff on cover names. You know, when he was first kind of not first, but on the rise, because people knew that he was like the basically like the greatest like horror author of like the one of the greatest horror authors of the 20th century. And
For sure.
when he was able to write stuff, and people realized that he wrote stuff that wasn't just horror, like the Green Mile is an awesome film, and also a very powerful film with message behind it. And it's not horror. It has like a little bit of like supernatural stuff going on, but it's more like a character driven film.
Oh, for sure.
And
And brilliant.
I also love it, even though it's nothing like what the book was like. But I am a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone nut. And The Running Man, which was based on a Stephen King novel that he went under a cover name for, um, is still one of my all-time favorite Schwarzenegger flicks.
And what you kind of lost me there. What did Stephen King have to do with that?
Oh, The Running Man is based on a Stephen King novel.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
I was going to say I didn't think he wrote that screenplay, but
yeah, I believe actually Stephen E. D'Souza wrote the screenplay, who is one of my favorite screenwriters. The guy is responsible for Die Hard and Commando and some of the best action flicks of the 80s and 90s. But the novel was Stephen King, and he went under a cover name uh, to write it because it was sci-fi, not really like any horror. And I believe the issue is that at the time that he wrote it, his publisher didn't feel that it would sell well, because he was known for horror. So he went under a cover name, and the book did pretty successful, and they adapted it for Schwarzenegger.
very interesting. Well, just goes to show you, you can't take anybody else's limitations. You just have to get out there and create and love doing what you do, and then everything works. The
Absolutely,
universe just kind of shows up for you when you do that.
absolutely. I actually had some recent news. I found out that one of my screenplays made it as a quarterfinalist in Shriekfest, and I'll actually be once I get the final confirmation dates from the festival runners, because your area, California, is still I guess in the process of like reopening everything. But
Yes, we're the smart people in the nation.
but hopefully.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I'll be taking a trip out to California whenever it happens, and I'm hoping to hopefully meet up with some of the people I've had a chance to interview, and you're definitely one of them. Um,
Well,
if
just let us all know, sooner rather than later, because now that everything is opening up, we're all starting to get booked on a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Happily, so I might
Right.
add.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will definitely keep you posted on that. They have to send me the confirmation date and everything, so it's still a little up in the air, but I'm hoping to get some news soon.
Well, I've got my fingers crossed for you, baby.
Thank you, thank you.
I know how important that, recognition like that is for us as creative people and also for the success of the project. So I am, I will hold a good space for you for that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
What's the name of it again?
The script is called um, Grr, a zombie love story.
A zombie story.
A zombie love story.
I I guess there's some humor in this.
it is a very it's actually a TV pilot. And I it's the rough draft of the script is actually published on Amazon, and you can get it as like an ebook, or I think even as like a hard copy. But the premise is that um, it takes place in a world where zombies and humans coexist, but zombies still do everything that zombies do, including like murdering and eating people. But it's just somehow like socially accepted, and the protagonist is supposed to be Boris Karloff, and he's married to a human wife that's basically a gold digger and is cheating on him and everything and trying to have him killed over a life
Dear
insurance
Lord, what were
policy.
you on when you wrote this?
um, and he ends up falling in love with the Bride of Frankenstein.
Of
And
course.
of course, and I'm also doing a lot of plays on George Romero's characters, and just it's combining
You know, that's the first. Go ahead.
uh, it's combining pretty much like all the zombie movie universes into one show. But the joke is that so I don't get sued by any of the movie companies or anything. The joke is that the characters are like spoofs on the actors that played the characters.
Got it.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, sure. That was the first horror movie I ever saw was The Bride of Frankenstein. Only because my older brother um, was babysitting me, uh, and my mother said, no scary movies. So, of course, the one movie that he wanted to watch was The Bride of Frankenstein. And I was beside myself. I was scared to death, and my mom made him let me sleep in his room for 2 months because I was too scared to sleep in my own room. She said, well, if you can't follow directions, then, for every action, there's a consequence. And, yep. And then he would make me make his bed every day. And he had this old, um, well, it wasn't a comforter, it was a bedspread. And it had a row of baseballs and a row of baseball bats and another row of baseballs and another row of baseball bats. And he would make me make the bed until all those lines lined up perfectly, thinking that that would persuade me to go back to my own room, but it didn't work. It didn't work. I held out and I won.
That's really funny. I think there's a lot to be said about the classic Universal monster movies. I remember going to the library here in Pittsburgh when I was little and renting the like Dracula and Frankenstein, the originals and the Wolfman, and just kind of like delving into the original like birth essentially of like horror, and it's very interesting to see the progression of the dawn of cinema horror to where we are now, and how like almost like like just like how society's influenced by everyday life and political stuff and just the progression of moving forward. It's very interesting to see how the progression and each decade of horror uh, progresses, and I definitely think it's a fact now that the horror genre is pretty much has always been one of the most prominent genres in film because people love to be scared. They love to be scared in like the safety of knowing that
Sure.
like something can jump out at you and scare you or and
Well, and that you can handle it.
yeah, yeah,
You know, that there's a lot of psychological studies actually about that, especially with little kids in Disney films. Um, they literally want you to replay the scary parts for them, and because they're practicing. They don't know this, of course, but they're practicing being able to handle it in the safety of their own house. I remember in The Little Mermaid, my daughter would go, "Mommy, lady get big part, lady get big part," where Ursula, grows out of the ocean and she gets huge and scary, and I would say, "Gabrielle, that's a very scary part." She said, "Uh-huh, play lady get big part." But that's what we do as adults also when we go to the movies is, of course, we're along for a great ride, but there's no horror film that competes with the COVID virus, is there? And so we're really practicing being able to handle things that are safe to handle in a world where there are things that we have no idea how to be safe with. So I've always thought that horror films and all films really serve a huge purpose in the world. I used to tell my acting students, actors can heal more people in 3 hours than a doctor can heal in their lifetime through the work. And I can tell you for sure, E.T. did that. For sure. And, uh, so I never, I never think a film is just a fun romp and a job because I have too much proof of how many people my films have touched in all kinds of different ways.
absolutely, absolutely. I remember seeing ET for the first time, and I even was talking about it when I was at work. I was telling everyone that I was going to interview you again for the second time, and E.T. was like the first film that we all started talking about, and like all my coworkers were, sharing like their first experience, watching, E.T. and um, you know, it's and then the whole Universal Studios ride, you know, and just being inspired by you know um, seeing something like that on the screen, and I'm also very very like big into the paranormal and aliens and all that. I really believe that we're not alone, and they do exist. And I mean, they basically release like all this footage, basically, I guess, preparing us for the fact that we aren't alone, and the fact that a movie like E.T. Came out, wow, like almost 40 years ago now, and one, it still holds up. Two, the story, is very, very powerful and prominent and so relatable. And it really, gives you an idea of like, that, we're not alone in, friendship and just family. And there's so many great different concepts going on in the film, and Steven Spielberg did an excellent job putting it together.
Oh, for sure. And I think he got it right, too.
Yeah.
I mean, later on, he did films where aliens were bad guys. And everything I know through my healing work, they're only here to help and guide, but they can't interfere. They kind of hold the space for us to do what we need to do. And, I've been touched by so many stories of people that come by and when we talk at the conventions. And one mother came up to me with tears in her eyes and she said, "Miss Wallace, I want you to know you've been a part of a miracle in my life. My son is autistic. He's 10 years old. And I had never heard him speak a word in his life. And I took him to see the re-release of E.T. And on the way home, he started saying every line that E.T. said."
Wow.
Now, I get chills every time I tell that story. Can you imagine being a mother who has never heard a sound come out of your baby and hear him speak for the first time? There's something about that film that just reaches into the heart and bypasses the brain and reminds us of what's really important, which is love and friendship and keeping our hearts open. I had a young man come up to me and say, "Miss Wallace," I love it, they call me Miss Wallace, makes me feel so old. He said, I was in ninth grade and I live in a very small town and my parents got divorced and I was an outcast. And then E.T. came out and you were a single parent and all of a sudden it was okay and I was accepted into my friends' circles again. I mean, we just cannot underestimate the power of our work in this business and how it touches people. And then, of course, you have stories like, I never touched another dog after I saw Cujo. You have those stories too. And I got to tell you, a lot of my stories were, I was conceived in the backseat when my parents went to watch blah, blah, blah at the drive-in. I said, well, I'm so happy I could have been a part of bringing you into the world. So, that's one of the beautiful things about the cons is you just get to hear all these great, wonderful stories from people. And that's, I hope everybody in Pittsburgh turns out and comes out to see us because now that the world's opened again, we're really fighting those subconscious belief systems now that if I stay away from people and if I don't interact, I'll be safe. And we have to now, if you've been vaccinated, redirect your brain to knowing that you're okay to get back out in the world. And it's okay that the world's opened up again. So, we're walking a fine line here because some people still insist that they shouldn't have to get vaccinated, that they don't want to be vaccinated. I don't get it. Nobody was up in arms when the polio vaccine came out.
Right.
I really don't get it. As we know, it's become a very political thing, but I'm asking everyone, please go get your vaccine. Not only has it been researched and deemed safe for most people, I can tell you from the perspective of my channel, it's safe. And this is what my channel said about when people call into my show, which is, by the way, every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Over Blog Talk, over the internet. The channel said, look, as a collective, you all came together and asked for a cure. Please help us live through this pandemic. So we, the universe, gave you a cure in record time, and now you're doubting it. Why? So I just leave you with that perspective about it. By the way, my website is IamDeeWallace.com. If you want to tune into the show on the homepage, you can find out how to do that.
Awesome. Well, I want you to know I have been fully vaccinated, so I am very looking forward to definitely getting a picture with you and seeing you in person in a couple months. I'm very excited to be getting out in the open again. Stuff reopening, especially the Steel City Con. Like I said, it's been a birthday present, a year and a half in the making, and I'm just thrilled that you'll be coming to Pittsburgh and experiencing our fair city, and it's just been a absolute pleasure having you on the show again, and I can't wait to meet you in person again, and hopefully, possibly, do an interview with you at the con.
Well, like I said, just hook up with me earlier, and we'll see if you've been to the cons.
Oh yeah.
It can get very, very, very busy, and you're slammed, and then
Definitely.
you can have an hour where there's a couple of people come up.
Definitely.
So, we'll work it out. One way or t'other, we'll work it out. You're only talking about like a 10-minute thing, right?
Yeah, like a 5-10 minute thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Dee, we are just about at that time. I want to just say thank you so much again for coming to take the time to swim in the bowl with me.
It was a nice swim. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And I will see you in a couple of months.
Sounds great. And
all right.
I will send you a link to the interview as soon as it's posted. I'm going to try and have it up for the next 2 weeks, hopefully, so it can be promoted for the con and everything.
Okay, darling. Thank you. It was lovely to be with you again.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Everybody be well, be happy, and yeah, get out there again now. We're okay. Thanks. Right. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.